My favourite superhero is Buffy Summers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The reason why she's my favourite superhero is she's a strong, independent female character who doesn't need to rely on anybody else, and she makes the show unpredictable with different cases she has to get involved with.
My favourite superhero is the Green Arrow because in his backstory he spent 5 years in a deserted island, and I kind of think that my time at secondary school was like those 5 years of struggling to survive, make it all the way through, and coming up in situations where I'm not sure if I can get through it or not.
My favourite superhero is Captain Marvel. This is because she's quite a unique hero. She's sort of on the same power level as Superman, and I like how she's a female and she sort of stands out from the rest of the crowd, and she's different compared to other characters such as Iron Man, Spider-Man and Captain America.
My favourite superhero is Batman. The reason why he's my favourite is because he basically has to rely on his intelligence a lot of the time when defeating baddies, and how he's able to outsmart people who are literal gods compared to him, like Superman, Wonder Woman and The Flash.
Buffy has inspired me as a character through her strong female lead and her perseverance. She doesn't need to rely on anybody else, she doesn't need to rely on men. She's a very strong female character and she's very independent, and she's inspired me to be independent and focus on my own goals throughout high school and throughout college without anybody's help.
He inspired me because I now take up archery lessons, and I really wasn't into archery until I watched the Arrow TV show. And then that's when I was just like, ooh, maybe I should try getting into archery. And I still do archery to this day.
She's quite hot-headed, and for a superhero that's quite unique, and that inspires me, saying sometimes thinking on the spot is okay, because lots of people tell you thinking on the spot or acting irrationally isn't good. Whereas Captain Marvel, a lot of her situations, she just jumps straight in. And that's kind of inspiring, saying sometimes you just got to go for something and just go through with it.
He's inspired me because he manages to take something that is a weakness for him, which is the death of his parents and his phobia of bats, and then he managed to use them all as strengths to his advantage by basically turning something he feared, like his fear of bats, and basically using it as a symbol of hope for the citizens of Gotham and to strike fear into all the criminals.
To me, a superhero is somebody that the normal person, the normal man or woman on the street can aspire towards, something that they might do that takes them beyond the normal. A superhero in everyday life might be a firefighter or a police officer or somebody in the armed forces carrying out a role that is important to us, but we feel takes them beyond our own capabilities. For me, it's somebody that is more relatable for me, somebody that I feel I would aspire to be, and somebody that I can see on this big screen or in comic books performs a role that is believable within the everyday world. So characters like Daredevil as a lawyer, I find him easier to relate to than a character like Aquaman, who is just a sub-mariner. People like their superheroes to be dynamic, and that means somebody that leaps off the page of the comic book or leaps out of the screen from the TV or the big screen. People that add a bit of colour to our otherwise mundane lives. For me, that's what makes one hero more popular than another.